Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the House. I will try and make my remarks brief and try to bring the Equal Rights Amendment, the proposed 27th Amendment to the United States Constitution, into some perspective. 70 legislative bodies, well, more than 70, in this country have approved and ratified the Equal Rights Amendment. 35 states with almost 90% of the population have approved it. Presidents have gone out on a limb for it. The Democratic Party, in its platform, has enthusiastically approved. The Republican Party, likewise. Both of the candidates for governor supported in the last election the Equal Rights Amendment. Illinois remains the only northern industrial state that has not ratified the Equal Rights Amendment. Our laws, our constitutional law, has changed as the years have gone by. No longer does the law ask, what is your race? What is your religion? What is your creed? Where are your ethnic roots? And after ratification of the Equal Rights Amendment, the law will soon not ask, what is your gender? This year in the House, sponsorship of the Equal Rights Amendment was headed by 4 hyphenated sponsors, all men. Our sponsorship
was a symbolic one in a sense, a directional one in a sense, to show that the Equal Rights Amendment is not a woman's issue, it's a human issue. Because as long as there are some Americans, as long as there are any Americans that are denied rights, then all Americans in a sense are deprived. You know, sometimes when I read my newspaper, I think to myself, well, we're on the right track. You know, I read about a state policewoman, a woman who's a welder on a skyscraper, a woman who's the best lineman. So maybe things are okay. Maybe discrimination is ending for women. And then that judge in Madison brings it home to me, brings home the residue of discrimination against women. The idea that women somehow are not equal. Women somehow have less rights than men. There are those who will tell you on this floor today that the 5th and the 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution does it all, that we need not worry, that there is no more discrimination, or that there are some kind of reasonable classifications of discrimination, that you can reasonably discriminate against people. To show you how unsettled the law is, in 1977, not 1877, not 1900, 1977, the Supreme Court of the United States came down with 2 decisions, each with 5 justices, each holding a different way, one that you couldn't discriminate and one that you could discriminate. That's the Webster case and the Goldfarb case.
The Goldie case in 74 indicated that the 14th Amendment does not end discrimination. And perhaps the most cogent expression was in a case called Verheimer versus Philadelphia that said, and I quote, "Race is a subject classification of the Constitution, but the Supreme Court has declined to so characterize gender. As the Supreme Court has said, gender has never been rejected as an impermissible classification. I say to you, that makes clear to me that discrimination against people by reason of their gender has not been put to rest." Let me read to you the simple declarative sentence, that is, Section 1 of the Equal Rights Amendment. Equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state on account of sex. It has a legislative history. Its meaning was debated in the Congress. It bids us end discrimination and any classifications by reason of gender. Although you will hear people to the contrary, Illinois has a similar prohibition against discrimination by reason of sex, and I will read that to you. Section 18 of the Illinois Bill of Rights of the Constitution of 1970. No discrimination on the basis of sex. The equal protection of the laws shall not be denied or abridged on account of sex by the state or its units of local government and school districts. I say that's the same meaning. I say that's the same intent. 12 other states have adopted the Equal Rights
Amendments in their own constitution. Over 30 decisions have been rendered by courts, including, by the way, decisions of the state of Washington, which indicate that this has nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do with homosexuality. That if the drafters had wanted to talk about homosexuality, they would have said sexual preference, sexual orientation. The Equal Rights Amendments and the use of the words "on account of sex" speaks of gender. We know that. We all know that. Everybody in this room knows that, even though you will hear differently. And if it's not true, if what I say isn't true, then I suggest that the opponents of the Equal Rights Amendment look at Section 17 of the Illinois Constitution, which uses sex in a way that would make them a little nervous, apparently. Not to dwell on this, but I suspect that those people who are fearful of homosexuality somehow are mixing up the sex that we do with the sex that we are. There are those who say that perhaps we don't need this. Perhaps we can do this on a case-by-case basis.
But I'm afraid that the case-by-case challenge, which has been pursued in the courts, in the legislatures, and by Congress, has not succeeded in eliminating sex discrimination. Witness under our local ERAs in the various states the more than 30 cases that have been filed in the last 3 years. My friends, there are those who say if Illinois women are protected, why should we be concerned? What is there about it that should concern us? When we sit and listen and vote on a constitutional amendment to the federal Constitution, we have a different constituency. We have a national constituency. Our concern is not just for women in Illinois, not just for men in this state. Our concern instead is for people in every state in the Union, in every territory of this land. As the Equal Rights Amendment has moved toward ratification and is moving and continues to move, Indiana having been the 35th state this year, opposition has become, in a sense, more hysterical, more irresponsible. Somehow, abortion is brought in, and abortion has nothing to do with this. Right to privacy will remain. No state has integrated their prison cells or public bathrooms. No change has taken place on freedom of religion. The Equal Rights Amendment will not affect domestic relations law. It remains with the state under the Equal Rights Amendment. Much has been said, my friends, about the second paragraph that somehow is a great grab for power. I will finish. I'm a great grab for power. It says Congress shall have the power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provision of this article. Those exact words appear in the 13th, 14th, 15th, 19th, 23rd, 24th, and 26th Amendments to the Constitution. We have given to the federal government the power to wage war, the power to coin money, the power to make roads, the power to govern interstate commerce, the power to regularize in a million different ways.
My friends, in closing, many of you know that I have 6 daughters, and I am not interested in destroying the family because I have tried to raise them with my wife with the same kind of tenderness and love that I'm sure all of you have tried with your children. I think that equality among the sexes will exalt, will lift up rather than take down the family. In the gallery above the Democratic press box are 4 of my daughters who asked me as we enter this 3rd century of nationhood, if they're not to have equality now, then when? And I say to you as I say to them, this day, let us join together in the ratification of the Equal Rights Amendment.
Dear daughter, never lose yourself. Remember that you're like nobody else. Life throws you into the unknown, and you feel like you're out there all alone. Well, these are words that every girl should have a chance to hear. There will be love, there will be pain, there will be hope, there will be fear. And through it all, year after year, stand or fall, I will be right here for you.
Just once in a lifetime, a man knows a moment one wonderful moment when fate takes his hand. And this is my moment, my once in a lifetime, when I can explore a new and exciting land. For once in my lifetime, I feel like a giant. I soar like an eagle, as though I had wings. For this is my moment, my destiny calls me. And though it may be just once in my lifetime, I'm gonna do great things. Once in my lifetime, I feel like a giant. I soar like an eagle, as though I had wings. For this is my moment, my destiny calls me. And though it may be just once in my lifetime,
impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with a ember sorrow, to run where the brave and the gold, to right the irritable wrong, and to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are to worry, to reach the unreachable star.